that over 25,000 VW Polo Vivo models are now being recalled because they have a problem with their handbrake. They were sold between February last year and February this year. These are very new Polo Vivos we're talking about. And Prudence Moilwa is the spokesperson at the National Consumer Commission, head of complaints and investigations there, in fact. Prudence, good afternoon to you. What's wrong with the handbrake on these cars?
Yeah, so it does look like, the problem with them is that they're not according to specification. It does look like perhaps when they were manufactured, something went wrong there, hence the recall. So it also means that there is a safety concern, and that is why as the National Consumer Commission, we're talking to the public to say, please make sure you book your car in.
Okay, so, I mean, safety concern. We're talking about parking your car on a hill and suddenly it starts to move.
Yep, that is a possible risk. So what is important, I think what we can tell the drivers of these vehicles is that please make sure that you don't park them on a slope, whether uphill or downhill, because there is a risk that it might roll down or even roll up, for whatever the case may be. So what we are cautioning is, even as you are driving it today, even before you book it in, make sure that you take precaution when parking this vehicle, because there is a potential that, with the handbrake being up, then the car might be able to roll, it might not be able to engage properly as it would if you have a handbrake up.
And the other thing...
So we're saying to them, yeah.
No, go on.
Yeah, so we're saying that, it's very, very important to then take those safety precautions when you park your vehicle. So it would not be immediately, safe for you to just lift up your lever and think that it is on park. So we're saying to them, if your car is an automatic, please put it on park. And if it's a manual, please make sure that you park it on first gear, just to potentially limit the risks of the car rolling down and also endangering your life and also destroying your car.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to give the advice about the gear lever. The other thing, of course, if you're very worried you've got to park it somewhere overnight, is to put a brick in front of it. That usually works. What obligation?
That might work.
What obligation does Volkswagen have now? Do they? I mean, they should have records. These are new cars. At least there's that. They're just over a year old at the worst. Do they have to track customers down?
Yeah, so luckily, because the customers, these are fairly new vehicles, so they would have customers on their database. So this would be cars that are still within their warranty. So it's expected that they are able to contact them individually to make sure that they are able to not only put in place precautionary measures, but also to make sure that they are booked in so that they can be fixed.
And have you heard of any incidents in which the handbrake has actually failed and led to something very serious?
Not that we're aware of. As you may be aware, remember, a recall is meant to mitigate the risks of, something happening. So immediately when any supplier picks up that there is potentially something that might occur with the vehicle because of, a failure either in manufacturing or a failure with their products, they have a responsibility to make sure that they inform the Commission, make sure that they also get in touch with consumers to make sure that these vehicles are properly fixed. And I think it's also very important, in the event of an incident, Section 61 of the Consumer Protection Act gives consumers a variety of rights in terms of what they can claim for. Consumers in South Africa are fully protected by the Consumer Protection Act.
Prudence, thank you. Prudence Moilwa is the head of complaints and investigations at the National Consumer Commission. Just a reminder, do go and check on your car. Well, let's stay